Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention is about the unseen things that you read in the Gospels when Jesus is talking to people and doing things. Today, at least the reading from the Tyburn Convent, the Gospel had to do with the calling of Nathaniel, and I really love that passage because to me it's a perfect example of that something else was happening here that you can't see and wasn't recorded, wasn't being said in words. Okay, so quickly to recount, so Philip calls Nathaniel, and then Nathaniel's coming, and Jesus said, now there's a real Jew, no guile in him. And then Nathaniel says, well, Rabbi, how do you know me? Or whatever, something like that. And Jesus says, before Philip called you, I saw you under the fig tree. And then the next thing that you read is that then Nathaniel says, you're the Christ, or something to that effect. You're the Messiah. And then Jesus says, you call me the Messiah. I'm paraphrasing now. You call me the Messiah because I said I saw you under the tree. And then he says, and I tell you, you will see more than this. And then he says, you will see the angels ascending and descending on the Son of Man. So I think a very key little part of that is when Jesus said, you will see more than this. So what did he see? Yeah, he saw something. He saw that Jesus was the Messiah, And that's the part that's not really recorded. Nathaniel didn't say, oh, you're the Messiah just because Jesus said the words, I saw you under the tree. No, Nathaniel, when Jesus, and that's the other thing, Jesus said there was no guile in Nathaniel. That's important too, because that was what allowed Jesus to shoot that knowledge into Nathaniel's mind. So Nathaniel was shown that Jesus was the Messiah. And it's not something that you can record in words, except Jesus did say, you will see more than this. And that means, that he did see he saw that Jesus was the Messiah. Yeah, he saw that because he was shown that. And so I like that. You have to always, I think it's important. The reason I'm pointing it out is because when you read the Gospels and Jesus doing things, you've got to remember, this is God here. He can give faith, he can impart whatever he wants into a person's mind as long as they're willing to receive it. That's why, the chief priests and the Pharisees and scribes and that he couldn't get anything into their minds because they were closed. But if the mind's open, and I think the Samaritan woman at the well too, we don't really know all what he communicated mentally, spiritually to her. We know what the conversation is recorded at, but just remember that oftentimes Jesus was imparting faith, knowledge, Holy Spirit to people just invisibly, to where that it's impossible to really record that. You can see it by the actions that were taken and other ways, but to remember that.